White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer said Thursday the Trump administration will appeal the rulings of two federal judges that have temporarily blocked the president's revised travel ban.
We intend to appeal the flawed rulings. The danger is real and the law is clear. The president was elected to change our broken immigration system, and he will continue to exercise his constitutional authority and presidential responsibility to protect our nation.
CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid is in Washington. So, Paula, what happens now that the ban has been blocked for a second time?
Well, Lane, it's been blocked by two judges, so that actually gives the president a few options. It depends which appeals court, which side of the country he wants to take his case to. For example, the judge in Hawaii. That judge is in the Ninth Circuit, which the president repeatedly refers to as the much overturned Ninth Circuit. So he's unlikely to maybe take his appeal there. Instead, he'll go where the Maryland judge blocked his ban and potentially take his case to the Fourth Circuit. But Elaine, all roads eventually lead to the Supreme Court.
And Paula, it appears, as you have reported, that the new ban addressed many of the issues with the original order. So what went wrong and why was this put on hold?
Yes, it's important to note this is a much different ban. It is more narrow. It is more nuanced. It addressed almost line for line many of the previous judges' concerns about this. For example, it didn't go into effect immediately. There was some lag time. They had waivers for people who had an unusual circumstance and there needed to be an exception for them. It also didn't apply to people who already got their visas before a certain date. But Elaine, this judge in Hawaii and the judge in Maryland, they looked at this and they took this ban in the context of the president's promises on the campaign trail for a Muslim ban. And they said, we think at this point there is a potential that this could be held as unconstitutional, as discrimination based on religion.
So while all of this is being hashed out in the courts, what happens to people from those 6 countries?
It's as if this ban was never signed. It will not go into effect. None of those people will be impacted until these judges make a final decision about whether or not this ban should be in place, while they debate whether or not it's constitutional. This is just a temporary hold. We've been arguing about temporary holds for several months now. There's been no final decision about whether or not the first ban or the second ban is ultimately constitutional.
Yeah, and Paula, if this does go to the Supreme Court, what is the likelihood that it will be upheld?
Well, it's interesting because right now it's likely that the court could split 4-4 because you still don't have a replacement for Antonin Scalia. So it's important to know you haven't seen the Department of Justice do anything yet. And I think part of the strategy there is that they could be slow walking this appeal, trying to wait for President Trump's Supreme Court nominee to get on the court in the hopes that that justice would side with them and give them a victory at the high court. But both sides definitely want to take this to the Supreme Court, but there's no guarantee the high court will actually even accept it.
All right, Paula Reid in Washington for us. Thanks.